Hello, hello, hello. Listen, how are you doing with social media? I was listening to, I'm hopping out here real quick today because I wanted to share my reflections on some direction that I received from an influencer by the name of Gary Vee, who is very big on the social media, right? And so I was listening to him today, and as a founder, having, the his direction is typically you need to be out here on LinkedIn every day, multiple times a day, right? And so I was just reflecting on that, like, how am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to be out here on social media? And then beyond that, and he will say, well, I'm not going to quote him. You can look him up. He's got plenty to say and he's almost everywhere. But one of the challenges is, and the thing that I don't hear a lot of people talking about is when you invest all of that time into creating content and being out on social media, which I agree, we really need to be out on social media. I do what I can at this point, and I'm doing more, but there's some fundamental things that I believe that we as founders need to have in place in order to really be able to leverage the attention that we're getting on social media. And I don't really hear many people talking about that. So that's why I came out here today. Okay. And so here's the thing that I want to really emphasize for you as a founder, particularly a growth stage founder who is out here, doing the hustle, trying to get everything done, trying to be organized to scale your business, having a lot of things going on. Here's the thing. No matter how much attention you get, no matter how amazing you are on social media, whether it's Reels, you're on LinkedIn, you've got, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, if you don't have systems in place to convert that attention and that traffic into business, then it's just noise, right? So the question becomes, well, how do I? Well, it's the same way we do with everything else. One of the biggest challenges that I have had, and I found this Reddit. Reddit has a build in public thread. And so I like the idea of building public because that means I don't have to wait till I have it all figured out. I can share with you my findings and then you can see if they apply to you or not. And one of the things for sure is that one of the things that I learned is that marketing, when you get a marketing lead, even say you get a marketing qualified lead, that is the beginning, not the end. So say you're out on social media and you've got a ton of people and you're doing engagement and maybe they're going over to the website. If you don't have a system to convert them, what are you going to do? And what do I mean by having a system to convert them? I mean, the first thing we want to do is you want to make sure that you understand who you're talking to. Like I hear a lot, I've heard Gary Vee say, oh, well, just do content on every area. You don't need to niche down. I hear a lot of people say that. But here's the thing. It's like this. You go to a party, right? And it's really a nice party. There are a lot of people there. People are talking to each other. Conversations are going on. And then you walk in the room and you go, hello. This is what's going to, some people that were talking, if you say it loud enough, they might turn around and go, but they don't know who you are. They don't know why you're there. They don't know you. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what you're about. And so they're not going to give you their attention, right? So it's kind of like that to me with ideal customer. You have to know who you're talking to so you can speak in a language and say something that they will pay attention to. That's the reason. And beyond that, it's how do I, once I get their attention, how do I bring them along the journey to do business with me? And that is, to me, that my experience that has been one of the most challenging things that I have had to learn as a founder. And I have been iterating on this for a very long time. First, I started out with small business. Then I said, oh, maybe it's not small business, it's business owners. And I said, no, it's not really business owners because business owners are not necessarily as driven. Then I said, okay, it's founders. Well, not all founders are ready to scale. So then I said, okay, well, it's growth stage founders. Well, not all growth stage founders are necessarily looking to scale. And so I've had to really work through that conversation. But guess what? Now I know what to say on social media. Well, sort of. I'm learning, right? You just get out here and you do your thing and eventually you land on some equilibrium where people really get what you're talking about. I'm not necessarily saying I'm there, but I know where I'm not. I'm not where I was when I started, because when I first started, When I first thought I had built, the thing, I went out and I talked to founders and they were like, you know, I really want to do business with you, but I don't really know what you do. I mean, it's like, I'm thinking to myself, well, what do you mean you don't know what I do? I just told you what I do, but it wasn't clear. And it's not a lead's responsibility to understand what you do. It's my responsibility to be able to articulate to you what I do so that you can know whether I can help you or not. And so with social media, it's like, yeah, you could go out there and just post anything, but listen, don't do that. Like all this stuff is relative. When you have influencers, God bless them. They have done so much and they know a lot about a lot of things, but they can also lead you off in the wrong direction, not because they're necessarily wrong, but because all of this advice and information is right at some time, right? So it's like, yes, that may be yes, go out all full board on social media if you have the back end to support it so that you can convert. If you already know you're just setting yourself up and you're just learning social media, and in the background, you're working on getting the infrastructure, okay? It works. I assure you that Gary Vee has the infrastructure to support being out at the volume he is on social media, but you may not. If you don't know your ideal customer, then you're not ready. And being in a growth stage, if you're a growth stage founder, I'm pretty much guessing you must have product market fit. And then, but the challenge is to make sure that your language is matching your audience, right? Not just go out there and throw anything out, but really, who am I talking to? Why should someone listen to you? With so many other businesses out there, why should they even listen to you, right? And so, so that's what I wanted to share. It's like, it's not just about go out on social media and make a bunch of content and pay someone to do your social media and pay someone to do your video editing and get out on social media. It's about, we're not just being on social media just for the sake of being on social media. We are going out on social media to build relationships with people so we can learn the problems that they need to solve and then come up with solutions to help them solve them so that they will value what we do enough to exchange money for value. That's it. We're not out here trying to be influencers. I mean, the algorithms have even changed. They're not even necessarily tying you up to followers. They're tying you up to interest. Another reason why it's important to niche down, because if someone is interested in your content, they're going to find you and the algorithms are going to help you. But if you don't know who it is, guess what? That's not happening for you. So anyway, I was like a little, I don't know if it's a rant. It's not really a rant, but it's just, I see so many people, so many founders that are out here trying to be on social media, being frustrated because it's like, oh, I know I should be on social media, but what should I do? How should I do social media? And to them, I say, and before you go out and invest your time on social media, invest your time into understanding your audience and who you're talking to. Invest your time in understanding your ideal customer. Invest your time in understanding the problem that your product or service solves. And invest your time in understanding what the pain is that your potential customer has that would make them want to part with their hard-earned cash to pay you to solve that problem. And find out where the people who are ready to solve that problem, like where they at. And then go out and create content and put it everywhere, because you don't know where your people are going to necessarily be all the time. But you know the primary platform. You know, if you're B2B, you probably should be on LinkedIn. You know that, if you have a business that is very visual, you probably should be on Instagram. Okay. But you can do things like repurpose content. But again, what I wanted to share today, my point of being out here today was to say, to focus on understanding your business first, and then go out onto social media, because then you can connect with the people you need to connect with. So I hope that was helpful for you. I listened to that and I really wanted to share. I am Jewel T. Leonard, who should have put her phone on Do Not Disturb. I am Jewel T. Leonard, and I help founders turn growing pains into repeatable revenue with smart tech and scalable and streamlined systems that scale. Bye for now.